What's up, guys? We are back with a full slate of MLB action here on Monday, April 28th. We're going to give out plays on every single MLB game on the slate and both NBA playoff games. I'll give you my dog of the day and pick my massive lock, my pick that regardless of price, I think has the highest chance of cashing today. Not to jinx it, but we are on a 6-0 run on our lock of the day. Slam that like button and subscribe to the channel if you want to keep seeing these videos every single day, and let us know what you're thinking in the comments. I personally answer every single comment every day. Check the pinned comment throughout the day to see our favorite picks, and it pays to check back a couple of times per day to see if there are any changes, as injury news coming out and starters being confirmed can affect things. Guys, yesterday did not go amazing. It was due to happen. We had to give some back eventually. Now, we did have a couple positive ones in there, but got the day off to a rough start. We had the Padres at -120. That was a 4-2 loss. Zach Littell, our twin brother, literally lights out there, his best start of the season. So hats off to him for having a good one. We had the over there in that Phillies-Chicago Cubs game. Both starters and both bullpens were insane, which is a huge departure from what has been the norm for those two teams. The Cubs and the Phillies have had two of the worst bullpens in the MLB this season. Just so happened today, they were amazing. Now, we were on the Celtics at -6.5, a 37-point night from Tatum, and Boston getting a big free throw discrepancy there helped us get the win on that one. So we'll definitely take the win there on Boston. We also had Dennis Schroeder over 11.5 points. I don't know what was going on with him out there and what was kind of going on with the Pistons in general. He wasn't getting as many minutes and he wasn't getting his shots, and yeah, just couldn't put anything together. So that was an unfortunate loss. Now, guys, we did hit a bit of a bump in the road there with our dog of the day for the Texas Rangers at +110. They ended up kind of an embarrassing loss there due to 3 errors and still lost by 1 run due to a Little League walk-off home run. Yeah, you guys know what a Little League walk-off home run is, I am sure. That was pretty embarrassing stuff. Now, the dog of the day over the last 6 days is 4-2, so that's very profitable still. Hopefully, we can find a very solid dog out there today on what is a very short slate. And last but not least, guys, our big, massive lock of the day, the Tigers at -195. Skubal came through for us. A huge, just very, very easy win there, a 7-0 win there for the Tigers. So the lock of the day remains undefeated. So 6-0, let's hope we can keep that run going. And let's go ahead and hop into our first game here on the Monday slate. We're looking at the New York Mets going on the road to take on the Washington Nationals in an early afternoon game. We're looking at a 3:05 approximately first pitch. Now, the Mets, they come into this one 19-9 on the year. They have actually lost 2 out of the first 3 in this one at the Nationals. So hoping to get the win here in Game 4 just to earn a split. They're going to be hitting the ball to Griffin Canning. He's 3-1 this season, a 3.12 ERA. Now, his last couple of starts have been very, very good. And really, he's only got one bad start on his resume this season. He had a rough outing there at the Athletics. He went 5 1/3 innings, gave up 7 hits and 4 earned runs in that one. But against the Cardinals, he went 6 innings, 3 hits, 1 earned run. And then against the Phillies, his last time out, 5 innings, he did give up 7 hits, so he wasn't necessarily dominant, but gave up only a single earned run, a single run overall, walked 1, and struck out 5. So we are not too upset with what we're seeing from Griffin Canning at this point. He's been throwing the ball pretty well, so excited about what he's doing. Obviously, if you're a Mets fan, and I'm sure you're very excited about what that bullpen is doing. They're top 5 in the majors, a 2.76 bullpen ERA. Now, probably not super pumped about what they did yesterday in that 8-7 loss, but they've been good over the course of the year. So we're not going to freak out too much about a 1-run situation. Yeah, that Pete Alonso throwing error, that's not a great look. CJ Abrams scoring the winning run there. Yeah, that's a little bit rough, guys. A hard way to lose a game where you had a 6-run lead there for the Mets yesterday. But they're going to try to bounce back here. The offense, it's not a terrible day putting up 7 runs. It's not the end of the world. They've scored 7, 2, 4, 4, and 5 runs over their last few. Now, Pete Alonso probably feels like he's got a little bit to make up for in this one. Maybe you could see a Pete Alonso home run prop in this game. I mean, Bro is batting .333 in the season with 6 home runs and 26 RBIs, so he's hitting the ball pretty well. Now, the Mets in general are kind of a middle-of-the-road offense at this point in the year, and that's probably not what the franchise was looking for. They're 16th in runs scored, 20th in batting average, 12th in slugging percentage, but I do expect them to eventually look like a better offensive team than what they've looked like here through their first, 28 games. So, yeah, I think they'll be a little bit better. Maybe they'll be better in this one, taking on the Nationals, who come into this game 13-15 on the season. DeYoung gonna have to have surgery there on that broken nose. That's looking pretty brutal. But yeah, they probably don't feel bad at 13-15 on the year. That's not a terrible start for a Nationals team that came into this year probably not with the highest expectations. We'll see what they do here over the rest of the season. Obviously, getting CJ Abrams back out there, he is causing havoc just immediately. So great to have him out there if you're a Nationals fan. A big 8-7 come from behind win there in Game 3 has to feel really, really good. So we'll see what they can do here in Game 4, handing the ball to Trevor Williams. He's 1-2 this year, a 5.11 ERA, so probably not somebody you're looking to celebrate too much if you're a Nationals fan, but I will argue that what he's done over his last couple of starts, albeit not against the toughest opponents, has been pretty solid. 5 innings there at Pittsburgh, gave up 3 hits and only a single earned run. It was a solo home run, but still. And he also had a very good outing there against the Baltimore Orioles. 5 innings, 6 hits, only a single earned run allowed in that one. And that was a 4-3 win there for the Washington Nationals. So we'll see what he can do here against the Mets. Obviously not a team that's been crazy at the plate this season. To be honest, we're liking the direction right now that Trevor Williams is pointed. He's just been throwing the ball pretty well his last couple starts, and now he's going up against a Mets team that doesn't hit the ball crazy well. Now, we are certainly concerned about that Nationals bullpen. Whenever Trevor Williams comes out of this game, that's likely to be a problem because they are dead last in the majors, a 6.20 bullpen ERA. Yikes. Don't love to see it. Do not love to see it at all if you're a Nationals fan. So we'll see what they can do. See what the Nationals can do at the plate in this one. It hasn't been great either at the plate, really. Pretty middle of the road. Similar numbers to what we're seeing from the Mets. 17th in the majors in runs scored. 18th in slugging percentage. 22nd getting on base at a 304 clip. Like, not an elite offensive team. Now, we have seen good things from guys like James Woods this season and Nathaniel Lowe with 4 home runs and 19 RBIs. Something to feel good about, but really not an offense you're necessarily going to be super scared of. So looking at the numbers for this game, the Mets are minus 160. The Nationals are plus 135. We've got a total in this game of 9.5. The Mets 7-8 on the road, 9-5-1 to the under on the road. Washington 10-5 at home, 8-6-1 to the over at home. First up, guys, I think under 9.5 is very, very live in this game. I don't think we're going to see some crazy amount of offense in this one. I do worry because of how bad that Nationals bullpen is. Don't get me wrong, but I think Trevor Williams, a solid starter. Griffin Canning, another very solid starter. Obviously, the Mets bullpen is excellent. The Nationals, is it a dumpster fire? The Nationals bullpen, definitely a dumpster fire, confirmed, but I still don't think that's going to be enough to get us to double-digit runs in back-to-back games here. And if you look at this series in general, we saw 9 total runs in Game 1, 2 in Game 2, and then that crazy 15 runs in Game 3. So I think we'll see some regression here and not a ton of runs scored in this weird mid-afternoon game on a Monday. In terms of the side, this is a little bit tough, guys. Part of me likes the Mets at minus 160, just not thinking they're going to lose 3 out of 4 to the Nationals, and Canning on the mound is nice. The other part of me thinks Trevor Williams, not a bad starter here. The Nationals are playing well. They've got some momentum, but I think we see the Mets buckle down and get the win in this one. So give me the Mets at minus 160 as a very small lean. Next up, guys, you're looking at the Minnesota Twins going on the road to take on the Cleveland Guardians. The Twins come into this game 12-16 on the year. They've actually won 5 out of their last 6. Now, those were all home games against the White Sox and the Angels. Now they got to go to the Guardians, to Cleveland. So we'll see what they can do there. Obviously, a team that's probably a little bit better than their 12-16 record. They're hitting the ball to Bailey Ober, who has had some bumps in the road in the early goings, but is now 2-1, a 5.04 ERA, and 4 out of his last 5 starts, or no, 3 out of his last 4 starts have been excellent. A good start against the White Sox. Not dominant there against the Mets, but it was a 6-3 win there for the Twins, so they'll take that. And a very good start against the Royals, a very good start against Houston. You're kind of starting to see a trend here. It turns out Bailey Ober, despite a rough start to a season against the Cardinals, is not a terrible pitcher. He's actually very, very good. So expecting good stuff from him, expecting decent stuff from that Minnesota bullpen that's been solid all year long. A 3.43 bullpen ERA is not a problem. That is a bullpen ERA that will certainly work. And the offense doing its thing here recently, guys. They scored 5, 5, and 11 runs so far in this series. That's a point in the right direction. A welcome sight for a team that's still only 22nd in the majors in runs scored and 23rd in batting average, batting .226 as a team. Now, none of their offensive numbers really look great, but like I said, guys, they're headed in the right direction. That's a big, big deal for this team. So we'll see what they can do here. Obviously, going up against Cleveland, an AL Central opponent. The Guardians, 15-12 to start the season. They just had a bit of a rough time there against the Red Sox, who just lost. They just lost 2 out of 3 in that series. So we'll see what they can do in this one. Handing the ball to Gavin Williams, who's 2-1 this year, a 4.15 ERA. Now his last start against the Yankees looked like it was going to be a little bit scary. He went 6 1/3 innings, gave up 7 hits, but only 2 earned runs. He did give up a home run, but he struck out 8 and walked 2, and very good stuff. I would say out of his 5 starts this year, which is his last 5 starts, obviously, he's been very good in 4 of them. Okay, I take that back. Very good in 3 of them. He gave up 4 runs. 2 of them were earned on 5 hits over 3 innings against the Angels a while ago. But regardless, we're pretty happy with what we're seeing from Gavin Williams right now. The Cleveland bullpen, no big shocker here, has been a very solid one so far this season, so that's nice. But the offense, guys, is not ideal. And obviously, the bullpen didn't have a great day yesterday. I mean, they lost 13-3, and they lost 7-3 in Game 2 of that series against the Red Sox. So they're looking to bounce back. The offense needs to bounce back as well. I mean, we see Stephen Kwan off to a good start. Kyle Manzardo has gotten off to a good start, but he's cooled off pretty aggressively. And as a team, they're still only 20th in the majors in runs scored and 18th in batting average, batting .237 as a team. That's not exactly getting the job done. So some reason for worry here, no doubt about that. And looking at the numbers for this game, We see the Twins are actually plus 102. The Guardians are minus 120 here at home. We got total showing out there of 8 or 8.5. Minnesota is 6-7 on the road, so not a terrible road team. 6-5-2 to the under on the road. Cleveland 6-6 at home, and they are a 500 over/under team at home. I think this is a very reasonable spot to look at under 8.5 out there, or a no-run first inning. A no-run first inning, probably not necessarily a lock, but I do think this is a pretty reasonable spot there to take the under with 2 very good starters on the mound and 2 excellent bullpens. So under 8.5, gonna be my main lean on this one. If you're asking me for a side, I'll actually take the Twins here at plus 102. I think they're a good enough road team that I'm not scared, and Bailey Ober's been throwing the ball well, so give me a little bit of a look at the Twins as well. Interrupting the picks for a quick reminder, all of our videos are sponsored by StumpTheSpread.com. Click the link in the description to go over there and see the top confidence picks from our entire team of experienced cappers. Right now, our premium members are getting daily MLB, NBA, NHL, and UFC picks. Major League Baseball has been our most profitable sport the last 3 years running and is off to a fantastic start to the year, and premium picks overall are running great right now, going 27-10 over our last 37 picks. At StumpTheSpread.com, you'll be able to see exclusive free picks only posted there, our free-to-use bet size calculator, and our premium top confidence picks, which might not and usually will not always match what you see in the video. You need to sign up for our free email newsletter from Stump the Spread, which will get you free picks straight to your inbox every single day, and will get you updates on results. Also, there usually is a no-run first inning or some other parlay thrown in there, so definitely check that out. Just make sure to check your spam folder. Also, if you're a huge fan of what we do here every single day, you can sign up for a channel membership by clicking the little join button right below the video. Channel members are eligible for our members only giveaways. We'll be giving away a Stump the Spread hoodie to one random channel member each month. We'll be giving away one this month on May 20th, or this upcoming month on May 20th. And if we get enough members, guys, I'll be stoked to be giving multiple hoodies or multiple pieces of merchandise away every single month. Members also get early access to our videos and get their names up on screen in every video. Now, guys, let's hop back in and look at some more games. Next on the docket, we're looking at the New York Yankees going on the road to take on the Baltimore Orioles. Now, the Yankees up to 17-7 on the year. They won 2 out of 3 there in that series against the Blue Jays, with a game getting postponed. But the Yankees probably don't feel too bad about that. Judge hitting that tie-breaking home run in the second game there, so they get the doubleheader sweep on Sunday. Had to feel pretty good there for the Yankees. They're going to be hitting the ball in this one to Will Warren, who's he's 25 years old, so we're not expecting miracles right out of the gate, but he's 1-0, a 4.79 ERA, serviceable numbers. His last start was at Cleveland. He went 5 innings, gave up 3 hits and 2 earned runs. Now, his start before that at Tampa Bay didn't last long, only 1 2/3 innings, gave up 4 hits and an earned run there. So not the most consistent guy, which at 25 years old, who was really consistent at anything at 25, but we like what we're seeing from Will Warren at least a little bit here, and we're loving what we're seeing from the Yankees bullpen. They're top 8 or 9 in the majors, a 3.20 bullpen ERA. Certainly nothing to be ashamed of. The offense obviously coming alive, scoring 5 and 11 runs respectively there in their last 2 games on Sunday, and Aaron Judge doing his thing, absolutely killing. It's getting wild out there, to be honest. I mean, batting over 400 with 8 home runs and 27 RBIs is crazy work. The Yankees are 4th in the majors with 155 runs scored this season. They're 2nd in the majors in batting average. They're a dominant offensive team, no doubt about that. So they're going to be looking to run it up here against the Baltimore Orioles, who are only 10-17 on the year. They just got swept there by the Tigers. Skubal struck out 11 in 6 innings there. The Orioles floundering. They're handing the ball in this one to Tomoyuki Sagano, hoping he can, turn things around for him. He's been good this year. 2-1, a 3.54 ERA. Now, his last start against Washington, 7 innings, 5 hits, 3 earned runs. You would think for an offense like what we saw from Baltimore last year, that would be plenty to get the job done. Well, it certainly was not. They ended up losing that game 4-3 against the Nationals. And he's been good. Don't get me wrong, but you got to be really good if Baltimore's not going to hit the ball at all. And also, the bullpen, when they come in, has not been good. A 4.75 bullpen ERA is a huge problem. The offense is MIA, guys. They've scored 0, 2, 3, 2, and 3 runs over their last few games. Cedric Mullins leading the way, batting 279. Okay, that's not very impressive. They're 27th in the majors in batting average, 25th in the majors in on-base percentage. This isn't a good offensive team. I don't know what has happened, but the Baltimore Orioles have fallen off an absolute cliff here in terms of their offensive production. So very worried about Baltimore here over the rest of the season, and so should you be if you are an Orioles fan. The Yankees are minus 120 in this game. The Orioles are plus 102. We've got a total out there of 9.5. The Yankees 5-8 on the road, 6-5-2 to the under on the road. Baltimore 4-7 at home, 8-2-1 to the over at home. That's an MLB best mark to the over at home. But guys, I'm not taking over 9.5 in this one. I'll tell you what, now with what we're seeing from the Orioles, I'm going to side with the Yankees at minus 120 here. Just a small lean because of Will Warren on the mound. Now, maybe if the Orioles were hitting the ball a little bit or if they had a decent bullpen, I could back them, but just can't make myself do it. So give me the Yankees at minus 120 as a small lean. Next on the docket, we're looking at the St. Louis Cardinals going on the road to take on the Cincinnati Reds in an NL Central showdown. The Cardinals, they just won 2 out of 3 against the Brewers. They couldn't make the sweep happen there on Sunday, eventually losing 7-1. But overall, I think they're pretty happy with winning a series. The Cardinals have, dug themselves a hole, starting the year off at 12-16. They're hitting the ball in this one to young Andre Palante. He's 2-1 this season, a 4.05 ERA. Now, his last couple of starts have given us reason for concern. He had that crazy start going 7 shutout innings there against the Phillies back on the 11th, and then on the 17th, 6 innings, 7 hits, 4 earned runs against the Mets, and a 4-1 loss there for the Cardinals. And then at Atlanta, his last time out, 4 1/3 innings, 7 hits, 4 earned runs, gave up 2 home runs in that game, walked 3 and struck out 1. Very clearly not feeling the greatest out there on the mound. Not the best control either. 3 walks and 1 strikeout, not what you want to see. So maybe this young guy is struggling a little bit pitching away from home, which is going to be a problem here as well. If he's, struggling pitching away from home, now he's got to pitch at the Great American Ballpark. Not exactly a hitter-friendly location. Now, on top of concerns about Palante on the mound, we have to be very worried about that Cardinals bullpen. They're bottom 6, so 24th in the majors with a 4.80 bullpen ERA. That is not going to work. That's not going to work. This team has looked really good at the plate. Don't get me wrong. They're currently still 9th in the majors in runs scored, but they are not going to be able to out-hit this kind of rotation and this kind of bullpen. It's just not going to be a thing. Brendan Donovan off to a great start. That's awesome. They've scored 1, 6, 3, 1, and 10 runs over the last few games. This is not an elite offensive team. They're first in batting average. They're 9th in runs scored, 4th in on-base percentage. These are numbers that I will be shocked if we don't see them fall here significantly. So we'll see what happens with the Cardinals here as they head to Cincinnati to take on the Reds, who just swept the Rockies, which is the Rockies, so let's not freak out too much. But they did what we wanted them to do. Lodolo had a huge bounce back there, shutting out, 7 innings, gave up 2 hits. Yeah, very, very crazy stuff. 7 shutout innings, yeah. So very good stuff from Lodolo there in Game 3. They're 15-13 on the year. They're hitting the ball in this one to Nick Martinez, who, after making the transition from the bullpen, I believe it was last year, has not had a good time this year. 0-3, a 5.40 ERA. Now, he did turn things around a little bit in his last start. His last start was his best start of the year. It was at the Miami Marlins. He went 5 2/3 innings, gave up 5 hits and 2 earned runs. Unfortunately for him and for the Reds, they took another loss in another one of his starts. They're 0-5 over his 5 starts this season. So definitely concerning stuff there for Nick Martinez. No doubt about that. Now, the Reds' bullpen has been serviceable, not elite. A 3.57 bullpen ERA is fine, but nothing to write home about. The offense, putting together some offense there at Colorado. I guess that's not too shocking, but 8, 6, and 8 runs over their last 3 has to feel good for an offense that's now 3rd in the majors in runs scored, but that number extremely skewed by the fact they beat Baltimore in that one game 24-2. So we'll see what they can do out there. Guys like Gavin Lux off to a good start. Austin Hayes off to a decent start as well. Ellie De La Cruz doing his thing. That batting average all the way up to 270, that can be a big deal. So looking at the numbers for this game, we see the Cardinals at plus 105, the Reds at minus 125. We've got totals out there of 9 or 8.5. The Cardinals 5-8 on the road, not a great road team. They're 8-4-1 to the over on the road. Cincinnati 6-6 at home, 6-5-1 to the under at home. You could certainly talk me into over 8.5 in this game. Neither one of these pitchers am I really in love with right now, so I think we could see some offense in this game, no doubt about that. Now, the bullpen situation for the Reds is fine, but the Cardinals is bad, so definitely over 8.5 seems like a solid lean. In terms of the side, I kind of want to lean against Andre Palante in this game, pitching on the road once again. So, yeah, I guess give me the Reds a little bit at minus 125, but with Nick Martinez on the mound, that's not going to be a bet for me. Next on the docket, we're looking at the Sacramento Athletics going on the road to take on the Texas Rangers. The Athletics got the 3-2 walk-off 2-run home run in the 10th inning there. Very, very cool stuff. 1 out in the 10th inning. Yeah, crazy stuff there for the Athletics. I'm sure they're pretty pumped about it, but now they got to go on the road to take on the Rangers, a team they did just beat 2 out of 3 not too long ago. And at 14-14 on the year, the Athletics are better than expected for sure. We'll see what they can do handing the ball in this one to J.P. Sears, who's 3-2 this year, a 3.21 ERA. His last start, very serviceable, and it was against the Rangers. 5 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, and it was eventually a 5-2 win there for these Athletics. So I'm sure they feel very good about things coming into this game. In general, J.P. Sears has been good, not great, but good this season, so they'll definitely take that. Their bullpen this year, I'm not going to get too excited about a 4.02 bullpen ERA. That's not great. That's a concern. Now, the offense has been wildly overachieving. We see Jacob Wilson off to a great start, batting 324. Tyler Soderson with 9 home runs, 22 RBIs, and batting nearly 300 himself. This team is 13th in the majors in runs scored, but 8th in batting average, batting 252 as a team, and 5th in slugging percentage, slugging a 428 mark. So this is a good offensive team. No doubt about it. Will they be able to come up with some runs here against the Rangers? Well, we'll have to see, guys. The Rangers just lost 2 out of 3 there at the Giants, so that probably doesn't feel great, especially when they lost that last one. Hit the like button, regardless, if you feel bad for me on losing my dog of the day pick because they couldn't figure out how to avoid giving up a little league home run as the walk-off to lose there for the Rangers. So that's embarrassing. They're hoping to bounce back here. They're 15-13 to start their year. Handing the ball to Patrick Corbett, who's been doing his thing out there, 2-0, a 3.77 ERA. Now, his last start, he did give up 7 hits over 5 innings there against the Athletics, but only gave up 2 earned runs. Those are both solo home runs. So while there's some reason for concern, he did manage to pitch his way out of trouble in his last one. Will he manage to do that in this one? That might be a big ask. We'll have to wait and see if that's possible. Now, the Rangers bullpen, definitely a step up from the Athletics, a 3.33 bullpen ERA, certainly decent. The offense for the Rangers, though, has been a huge problem. They've scored 2, 2, 2, 3, and 2 runs over their last few games. That's not going to work. Corey Seager missing time, obviously a huge deal. They're dead last in the majors in runs scored, second to last in on-base percentage. This is just a bad offense, guys. There's no way around that. So looking at the numbers for this game, the Athletics are minus 103. The Rangers are minus 110. We've got totals showing out there of 9 or 9.5. Sacramento 9-4 on the road. That's an MLB best road mark. They're 5-4-4 to the under on the road. Texas 8-5 at home, 12-1. 12-1 to the under at home. That's an MLB best to the under at home. Guys, give me under 9.5 in this game. What am I missing? Like, I don't even care if the wind's blowing out here. Like, that's insane. Sears is not terrible. Patrick Corbin's not terrible. These two guys just faced each other, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, or both those. Oh, no, they didn't face each other. They missed each other by 1 game. But the Sears game ended 5-2. And the Corbin game ended 8-5. So, okay, that one had plenty of offense in it. But still, I think under 9.5 is super, super live in this game. In terms of a side, give me the Athletics on the road in this one. They're a good road team, the best in the majors so far this season, and the Rangers can't score any points. So, you can't put up any runs, you're going to have a hard time. So, go ahead and give me under 9.5 and a look at the Athletics. Next up, guys, we're looking at the Detroit Tigers going on the road here to take on the Houston Astros. The Tigers come into this game just fresh off of winning 3 straight there against the Orioles in a pretty dominant fashion there. 7-0 and a 6-2 win there to end the series is very, very nice. Obviously, Scooball doing his thing out there. The Tigers are going to be handing the ball in this one to Jack Flaherty, who's 1-2 this year, a 2.63 ERA. He's been throwing the ball pretty darn well. His last start was against the Padres, obviously not the easiest team to face. He went 6 innings, gave up 5 hits and 2 earned runs. He struck out 9 and walked 0 in that game. Now, it wasn't his fault. It was a 2-0 loss there for the Tigers. He did everything you could possibly expect him to do. So we'll see if he can have another very good start out in this one. Bro has faced some very, very tough teams so far this year, and now he gets to face the Houston Astros. So I'm expecting very good stuff from Flaherty in this one. The Tigers bullpen, no problem there. They're top 4 in the majors. A 2.66 bullpen ERA is obviously elite. The offense for the Tigers is looking so much better than it did a season ago. It's absolutely insane. They've scored 7, 6, and 4 runs over their last few games. They've had Spencer Torkelson and Zach McKinstry leading the way for them. Both guys hitting the ball really, really well. Riley Green just hit a 3-run home run the other day. Like, this team is doing some stuff at the plate. They're 11th in the majors in runs scored, 9th in on-base percentage, getting on base at a 329 clip. They're, average, MLB average in slugging percentage, which is a nice step up for them. Like, this is a good offensive team. There's no way to discount that. It really just seems to be the absolute truth. So we'll see what they can do here on the road against the Houston Astros, who are 14-13 on the year. They just lost 2 out of 3 there at Kansas City. They did win Game 3. Diaz hitting a home run there into right field in the 7th inning to extend that Astros lead. I'm sure feels very, very good. But yeah, 14-13. I don't know if this team's happy with that. Now they're handing the ball to Ronel Blanco, who's 2-2 this year, a 5.01 ERA. Not exactly throwing the ball great. Now, his last start was very good against Toronto. 6 2/3 innings, 2 hits, 1 earned run allowed. He did give up a home run in that game, and he's given up 1 home run in each of his last 3 starts, but he hasn't allowed more than 3 earned runs in any of those starts, and the Astros are 2-1 over those games, but those games were against the Angels, the Cardinals, and the Toronto Blue Jays. Not exactly a murderer's row of opponents there, so we'll see what things look like for Houston here. Their bullpen's obviously been amazing. Top 3 in the majors, a 2.64 bullpen ERA. excellent stuff there. The problem for this team has been their absolute horrifying lack of offense. They're all the way down to 26th in the majors in runs scored. They are 21st in batting average, batting .231 as a team. They're 26th in slugging percentage, slugging under .350. Like, this is a bad offensive team. Jose Altuve is leading them right now with a .274 batting average. Like, they're just not scoring a lot of runs. And it's not like they've faced the toughest schedule so far this season either. So not loving life right now if you're an Astros fan. Now, looking at the numbers for this game, we see the Tigers are -110. The Astros are -105. We've got totals showing out there of 8 or 8.5. Detroit, a 500 team on the road, so not a bad road team. They are also a 500 over-under team on the road. Houston, 8-7 at home. 10-5 to the under at home. And I think under 8.5 is very much in play in this game with these two starters on the mound. I think that's a fine way to go. Now, I know I'm taking a lot of totals here, and I know I'm leaning a little bit more towards the unders, but that's just going to happen sometimes, guys, and this is just one of those days. So I think under 8.5 is very live in this game, but I also definitely like the Detroit Tigers here at -110. I think it's an excellent spot for the Tigers. They've been playing really well recently. Flaherty being on the mound, he's really due to get some run support. I guess you could be worried that he's jinxed out of getting run support right now, but I love Flaherty out there on the mound. I like the Tigers bullpen a lot. Also, I think their offense is much better than the Astros, and I'm not in love with Blanco right now. This is going to be the toughest team he's faced maybe all season long, so definitely give me the Tigers here at -110. Next on the docket, we're looking at the Atlanta Braves going on the road to take on the Colorado Rockies. The Braves come into this one fresh off of winning 2 out of 3 there at the Diamondbacks. Now, they did lose Game 3. Naylor's 2-run double in the 7th, helping out a lot there for the Diamondbacks. But the Braves at 12-15 on the year need every single win they can come up with, and they're about to get a chance to get some going up against the worst team in the majors right now. So they're handing the ball to Bryce Elder. He's 0-1 this year, a 5.57 ERA, but his last start, it was against the Cardinals, but it was very good. 6 innings, 5 hits, only a single run allowed, and it's been his best start of the season, also against the probably worst team he's faced this season. So that's probably not a huge coincidence. Maybe he can back it up with another good start because he's going up against another terrible team. Now, the Atlanta bullpen has not had a good year. They've kind of fallen off. A 4.32 bullpen ERA is a huge problem. Going to have to be better over the course of the year. They didn't look great in that series against the Diamondbacks. I would say going up against the Rockies might be an opportunity to look quite a bit better. The offense did look good against the Diamondbacks. I mean, 4, 8, and 8 runs over the last few games. We've seen good stuff from Ozuna here in the early going. Sean Murphy doing his thing, but they're still only 18th in the majors in runs scored and 14th out there in the majors in batting average. Now, they're top 10 in slugging percentage, so that is good for something, I suppose, but not in love with this offense in the early portion of the schedule. Now, they're taking on the Colorado Rockies in this one, who are off to a historically bad start. They are 4-23 to begin their season. They just got swept there by the Cincinnati Reds. Now they're going to be handing the ball to Ryan Feltner. I guess they're hoping he can turn things around for him, but who knows what they really want at this point. It's getting embarrassing out there for Colorado. They're 0-1, a 3.86 ERA. His last start was excellent. He went 7 innings, gave up 3 hits, only a single earned run there at Kansas City. So very, very nice stuff there. He was dealing a little bit of a bounce back after getting shelled by the Dodgers, but a lot of people are going to get shelled by the Dodgers this season. I'm not holding that against him too much. Overall, Feltner has been excellent this season. I don't think there's a lot of room to criticize what he's done. The bullpen there for the Rockies has actually been better than you would have expected. A 3.98 bullpen ERA has them out of the bottom 10, at least in the majors. And for a bullpen that was historically bad last year, that's a big step in the right direction. The problem for this team has generally been their offense this season. Now, they're currently sitting 28th in the majors in runs scored and 28th in the majors in batting average, batting .213 as a team. That's not going to get you a lot of wins, guys. That's not going to get you a lot of wins. They're bad. They're real bad. But the problem right now confronting us in this one is the discrepancy between the two starters here. And looking at the numbers, the Braves are -178. The Rockies are +150. We've got a total of 10.5 out there. Atlanta's only 6-10 on the road, 9-5-2 to the over on the road. Colorado 6-6 at home, 6-5-1 to the under at home. This is not a fun spot for me, guys, but I think we actually have to take the Colorado Rockies here at +150 with Ryan Feltner on the mound. Now, you could take him in the first 5 or something like that, but the Rockies bullpen honestly isn't the problem. The problem is their offense, and Feltner could go super deep into this game, so I'll take the Rockies at +150. It has a chance to be our dog of the day. It's not going to feel fun. I'm not going to want to do it. It's a short slate. You guys are going to want a dog of the day. There are not a lot of dogs that I like. This is one I like, and it's a pretty big dog. So if we put that one in there, if it cashes, let's all celebrate. If we put that one in there and it doesn't cash, let's not freak out too much, guys. This was a pretty short slate. So moving on here, we're we're looking at our last Major League Baseball game of the day before we hop over and look at the basketball games. We're looking at the Miami Marlins going on the road to take on the Los Angeles Dodgers. Now, the Marlins come into this game. They just lost 2 out of 3 at the Mariners. Not too shocking there, but 12-15 on the year is more respectable than what some other teams are doing right now. The Marlins are going to be handing the ball to Edward Cabrera. He's 0-1 this year, a 6.14 ERA. His last time out was against the Reds. He went 5 innings, gave up 5 hits and 3 earned runs. It's not a disaster start necessarily, but definitely not amazing. He's given up at least 1 home run in each of his first 3 outings this season. That's not a good look at all, guys. That is, I'm not going to say it's super embarrassing. He's faced Washington, Arizona, and Cincinnati, but yeah, bro's just not having a good time here right out of the gate. Maybe he'll figure things out down the stretch, but right now it's not looking good. The Marlins bullpen also looking bad. A 4.54 bullpen ERA has them easily bottom 10 in the majors, so that's not helping. And the offense has scored 6, 0, 8, 2, 4, and 6 runs over their last few. It hasn't been that bad. We see guys like Kyle Stowers off to a decent start. Matt Mervis with 7 home runs, but they're still only 14th in the majors in runs scored and 13th in slugging percentage. And while they're still somehow 4th in batting average, I don't think that's a number that's going to continue for all that much longer. So we'll see what they can do here against one of the best teams in the majors in the Los Angeles Dodgers, who come into this game 18-10 on the year. They just won 2 out of 3 against the Pirates, winning game 3 there 9-2, overcoming that early deficit. So they're probably feeling pretty good about life, handing the ball in this one to Dustin May, who's 1-1 this year, a 3.68 ERA. Now, he's made 4 starts this year. The first 3 were very reasonable. The last one against the Cubs, as a nightmare. Guys, he went 5 innings, gave up 10 hits and 7 earned runs. That qualifies, in my book, as a nightmare start. Eventually, the Dodgers managed to pull a big comeback and had a chance to win before eventually losing 11-10 there in extra innings. But overall, not a great outing. Now, the last time he faced a bad team, I don't know if the Marlins qualifies a bad offensive team, but he went up against the Rockies, 6 innings, 3 hits, only a single earned run in that one. And he's only given up the 1 home run this season. So I'm not going to act like the guy's been horrible, but he is somebody you have to at least be concerned about a little bit. Now, the Dodgers bullpen, they've been slightly above average, a 3.64 bullpen ERA. Nothing too much wrong with that. I think they'll get better and better over the course of the year. But in general, guys, looking at the offense for the Dodgers, that can cover up a lot of problems. They've scored 9, 8, 0, 6, and 10 runs over their last few games. Ohtani doing his thing. Teoscar Hernandez actually leading the team with 8 home runs. Glasnow going out after 1 inning. That's not a great look, but that doesn't matter too much in this game. The Dodgers are 10th in the majors in runs scored, 4th in slugging percentage. They are going to figure stuff out up there at the plate the vast majority of the time. And looking at the numbers for this game, the Marlins are plus 265. The Dodgers are minus 315. We've got a total of 8.5 in this one. Miami 6-5 on the road, 8-3 to the over on the road. The Dodgers are 9-6 at home, 8-7 to the over at home. You could maybe talk me into over 8.5 in this game, I guess, but really what I'm interested in is the Dodgers at minus 315. Now, guys, do I want to have a minus 315 favorite as my lock of the day? Well, by definition, the lock of the day the way I've been doing it and the way I've been explaining it to everyone is just the pick that I think is the most likely to win. Now, more than 3-1 favorite, probably not what I end up wanting to put in there as my lock of the day. So we're going to take this one under advisement. It's definitely got a chance, and give me some grace here, guys. Give me a little bit of leeway. This is a very short MLB slate. So if this does end up being the lock of the day, I think it's going to hit. I really think it'll hit. But no shocker there, it's a 3-1 favorite. So definitely taking this one into consideration, but we're going to hop over and look at some NBA plays here in just a second and see if maybe one of those can take over our lock of the day spot. First up, guys, we're going to be looking at the Cleveland Cavaliers going on the road to take on the Miami Heat out there in Game 4 of this opening round Eastern Conference playoff series. Now, the Heat not able to get the job done in Game 3 at home. They lose that one 124-87. Got pretty unfortunate out there for the Heat. We saw that Cleveland come out and not really have to do anything that crazy. Like, they shot 15 of 40 from 3. We saw 22 from Jarrett Allen, 19 from Evan Mobley, 18 from Max Strus. Donovan Mitchell, actually a bad shooting day. Garland didn't even play in this one due to that toe injury. And yeah, that didn't matter with DeAndre Hunter going off for 21 points off the bench. He was a plus 34. That's nuts. And Ty Jerome was a plus 33 with his 13 points off the bench and 11 assists. So overall, dominant stuff there from the Cavaliers. The Heat couldn't get anything going. 22 from Bam, only 13 from Tyler Hero, who struggled to get a lot of shots off in the game. 16 from Davion Mitchell, who continues to he's made himself a lot of money here down the stretch of the Miami Heat. Bro is looking like a real, very, very solid rotation, if not starting level NBA guard. So good stuff for him. But overall, it's been a little bit brutal now in terms of for the Heat. Now, in terms of the injury reports for both teams, Cleveland could be without Darius Garland in this one. He's officially listed as questionable for this game, but I think there's a shot he comes back, although it would make sense for them to hold him out. Like, why would you rush him back? You're clearly going to win this series with or without him. So let Bro rest up, and it's going to be a lot tougher going in the second round for you. Now, the Heat, their injury report looks totally clear. No major worries there for anybody the Heat actually want to play. So looking at the numbers for this game, the Heat are big underdogs. Tyler Hero coming out and saying, they're not going to get swept in 4. Well, we'll see. The Heat are 8.5-point underdogs. We've got a total of 210.5. Cleveland 27-15 against spread on the road. 40-25-1 against spread after a win. They're 53-32 to the over this season. The Miami Heat 21-21 against spread at home. 23-1 against spread after a loss. 47-40 to the over this year. This is a little bit of a rough spot, guys. I want to take the Heat at plus 8.5. It seems way too chalky to take the Cavaliers to win this series just walking away, but I just feel like the Heat have very limited talent on their roster. Like, outside of Hero, Davion Mitchell, and Bam, who on this team is starting or even playing rotational minutes for like anybody? Like, is Tyler Hero even a starter for the Cavaliers? I know Bam's not. Bam's definitely not going to start over Jarrett Allen or Evan Mobley. So, yeah, I just don't see it, guys. I think this is a rough spot. Give me the Cavaliers at minus 8.5. In terms of that total of 210.5, I shade towards the over on that as well, but I'm not super interested in either one of these going anywhere near the pinned comment. But there are some player props I think are pretty interesting in this one. And first up, I like Donovan Mitchell to have a bounce back to get over 25.5 points in this game. He only had 13 in the blowout win there in game 3. He's going to be looking for a big, get right spot here. The Heat can't actually guard him, and that shot is going to go back to falling here in game 4, whether they win or lose this game, which obviously I expect them to win. But I think Donovan Mitchell to get over 25.5 points, super duper live. I also like Ty Jerome over 16.5 points and assists. He had 13 points and 11 assists in game 3 in only 22 minutes. He's going to get that minutes in this one at least also. And, he's been on fire all series long. He should be getting even more minutes. And if they want to rest guys, I think Ty Jerome is going to take up some of those minutes, and when he's out there, he is absolutely cooking. And last but not least, guys, I like Bam here. Over 7.5 field goals made. He went 9 of 20 from the field in Game 3, and with the Heat playing for pride at this point in the series, I expect him to go out, probably take a similar number of shots, and make at least as many in this one. We only need him to make 8 field goals in this entire game to cash this bet. Seems very, very reasonable to me. Last but not least here, guys, we're looking at the Houston Rockets going on the road to take on the Golden State Warriors in Game 4 of their series, with the Warriors currently up 2-1. Golden State, that was a crazy 104-93 win. That is a Steph Curry, Mount Rushmore kind of game, if you ask me. He went out, put up 36 points in a game where Jimmy Butler didn't even play. He played 41 minutes in that game, went 5 of 13 from 3, actually got to the free throw line 8 times, which feels like the most free throws I've seen Steph shoot at any point this season. He played amazing. He willed this team to a win. We saw very good stuff off the bench from Buddy Hield. Gary Payton II played amazing defense and knocked down 2 out of 3 threes and went 7 of 9 from the field in his 21 minutes. Very good stuff there. Quentin Post, despite having a pretty lackluster stat line, was still a +7 thanks to 12 rebounds, 4 assists, and his 2 points. He didn't make a 3, went 1 of 7 from the field, but overall a very good team game from the Warriors there. Played some great defense at different points and really made this Rockets team, struggle down the stretch. Really made him struggle. And a big part of the reason the Rockets struggled was the terrible play there of Jalen Green, who decided to get into an altercation there with Draymond at the end of the game, which is a little bit wild after you have an atrocious, huge fall off night, which we were on the under there on Jalen Green's points. And he scored 9 points in the game, went 1 of 5 from 3, 4 of 11 from the field. That was a very easy hit there. Should have had that one in the pinned comment. That was a miss by me, guys. But overall, didn't love what we saw from the Rockets. The offense looked pretty disorganized. Dylan Brooks fouling out there after playing only 28 minutes. Not a great look there. Got to be smarter than that. And just in general, not a very good game out there for the Houston Rockets. The offense really spluttered. Sengun had 15 points. Fred VanVleet had 17, but he went 5 of 14 from the field and didn't look great out there. He's really just looks like VanVleet is the guy holding him back. I just don't feel like he can be your full-time main point guard option if you want to be a great team, especially in the playoffs. Like, he cannot be asked to do any real scoring because he's just not big enough to get a shot off, it doesn't feel like. And I could be wrong about that. And he's done better things at other points in his career, but just hasn't looked great. So Overall, guys, not loving what we saw from the Rockets in that game, and now they've got to play another one there at Golden State with the very real possibility of Jimmy Butler coming back. Now, looking at the injury report for the Rockets, they're looking fully healthy for this game. The big question for the Warriors here is whether or not Jimmy Butler will come back. Everybody else healthy and ready to go. Steve Kerr coming out and saying Butler dealing with that pelvis issue. He's been working with the training staff. Still a questionable designation for this game. It's really, really hard to know. Obviously, he missed game 3 there. Chance to get back for game 4. If he can't play, maybe more Kuminga, but Kuminga, I don't know, guys. He looked pretty bad out there if you ask me. So that's a big concern. Gotta maybe wait here on the Jimmy Butler news, but maybe we don't actually wait, guys. Looking at the numbers here, the Warriors are minus 3.5. We've got a total of 203 out there. Houston, 22-18-1 against the spread on the road, 17-14 against the spread after a loss, 44-39-2 to the over. The Warriors, 19-23-1 against the spread at home, 21-28-1 against the spread after a win, 44-42 to the under this year. The Warriors' trends, I don't really take too much into consideration. This is a veteran unit, and the regular season is not like the playoffs. So overall, in this spot, guys, I'm hopping on the Warriors at minus 3.5. I think they can win this game by more than 3.5, even if Jimmy Butler doesn't play, just based on what we saw from Steph Curry and what we saw from them defensively. And there were plenty of guys on the Warriors that could have played better. So let's say we see a fall-off game from Buddy Hield. Well, Podziemski could actually play not like garbage in a game. That would be a big departure for him from what he's done so far, but that would make a big, big difference, obviously. So yeah, going to be on the Warriors at minus 3.5. Also think the over 203 is live, but really we just want to be on the Warriors minus 3.5 on that off chance that Jimmy Butler does end up playing and making that pick look excellent. Now, in terms of some props for this game, I like Jalen Green under 18.5 points in this one. He got absolutely shut down there in game 3, couldn't throw it in the ocean, and the shots he did get off did not look good. He ends up finishing with 9 points. Trash talking Draymond after a game where you were terrible is not the best look, if you ask me. He's going to come out on a mission, and he's just not that guy, in my opinion. He could be the reason Houston loses this game, even if Jimmy Butler doesn't come back. I also like Dylan Brooks here, over 1.5 made threes. He went 3 of 4 from long range in game 3, and this team needs dudes that can shoot and just score in general. And while he fouled out with only 28 minutes played, I probably don't think that happens here in back-to-back games. He should be a little bit smarter about what he does here in game 4. And last but not least, guys, here, I like Podziemski under 5.5 rebounds. He only had 4 boards in game 3. He just isn't big enough or physical enough to do well on the boards in this game or this series. The 8 rebounds he had in game 1 looked like an aberration to me. I'm expecting his rebounding numbers to be somewhere around the 2 to 4 range and definitely not getting up to the 6 or 7 range. So that's what we're looking at here for this one, guys. And that's all the games we have for today here on not a very crowded day of sports there on Monday. Hit that like button for good luck on all of your bets. Subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. Get in the comments. Let me know any questions you have about today's slate. Definitely make sure you click the link down in the description. Get over to stumpthespread.com. Set up a free account so you can get on that email newsletter. It's free information straight to your inbox. Going to be very, very helpful for you. Also, check out our premium stuff over there at stumpthespread.com. It's been on a wild, wild run here to start the year. Guys, we will see you back here, same time, same place tomorrow for more sports betting action.